Well, thanks for joining me again on The Verdict, a program where you and I have a reason to interact about what's going on in the country, politically, economically, or socially. And this particular edition is going to be more of socio-political. It's got nothing to do much with the Nigeria's economy. But when you look at the flip side of it, we can relate it to the economy, because here is a man who has done so very well in Nigeria's economic space and is doing so much by employing a lot of Nigerians. I'm told that he has more than 50 people in his organization, and a governor wakes up one day and decides to demolish the structure this man has labored to build. I'm talking about one musician that the whole of Nigerians know, and of course they know him internationally too. Talking about Yinka Ayefele. You and I know what happened to him on a fateful Sunday morning when people woke up to the demolition of his music house in Ibadan. That's talking about Fresh FM. Well, there has been a lot of back and forth on the issue of demolition of this particular radio house in Ibadan, belonging to this I don't want to use the word disabled. He's a physically challenged musician. And this man, in spite of disability, is showing Nigerians, is showing me that there is ability in disability. He does not care about his position. He moves ahead. He relies on his talent, his music talent, and he's making a lot from it. And not just making a lot and eating that a lot that he's making from it, is giving back to the society. Established Yinka Ayefele Nigeria Limited, the owners of Fresh FM, and Fresh FM employs a whole lot of Nigerians. Of course, this is something that we should celebrate. Here is a man that should be celebrated. But what do we have? One morning, a state government talking about the Mr. Constituted Authority, being the governor of that state, Ajimobi, that's the man I'm talking about, wakes up to demolish the structure belonging to this man. Nigerians have been shouting. The media has been awash with what a lot of people believe are in three ways. Now, it's got to do with clamping down on the media. It also got to do with personal vendetta, and it's also got to do with ego tripping, executive recklessness by the governor of Oyo State, Mr. Ajimobi'S. Now, a lot of Nigerians have been saying that why would you demolish this house? There are good reasons why houses are demolished. At least we've seen state governments demolish structures. Now, there must be good reasons. Now, as a journalist, I tried to be very quiet on this issue until I saw a release by the state government saying that it wasn't based on sentiment or witch hunt. Now, they gave their reasons, and I took my time to read the reasons espoused by the state government. And in my own judgment, your reason, Mr. Governor Ajimobi, your reasons are porous, they're weak, they cannot stand. Because you cannot tell me that because of those reasons that you've advanced, the reasons are there. Because of those reasons that you've advanced, you have to bulldoze the house belonging to this man. This man should be encouraged. Now, before I go ahead, I'm going to quickly rely on something said by the late Kofi Annan about leadership. Leadership is not about ego tripping. Leadership is not about looking down on the people. Leadership is not about chauvinism. Leadership is actually about the welfare of the people. So let's quickly listen to what Kofi Annan has to say in this video. Then when we come back, we'll keep talking about this incident that happened, this unfortunate incident that happened in Oyo State, Ibadan to be specific.
Leadership is not about the individual. When you have mature leaders who believe they have to shine and it all has to be about them, forgetting that what is required is the welfare of society and the people they serve.
All right, you just heard from Mr. Kofi Annan of blessed memory. He died just about 2 weeks ago or about a week ago. May his soul rest in perfect peace. So that is leadership. That is what Nigerian leaders still lack. They still look at themselves as high up there, while we, the Nigerian people that they're supposed to be governing, are down low here. It shouldn't be about that. All of us are not going to go into politics. All of us are not going to become governors. All of us are not going to become president. In fact, the seat of a governor is just one, and you have millions of people in that state. So there's just going to be one person to occupy that seat. So that there won't be two people. So the most important thing is that we should provide leadership. We shouldn't use the position of authority to trample upon the rights of individuals. Now, I'm told that when the notice was served by the state government last year, Yinka Ayefele made attempts to reach out to the state government, and of course they reached out to them. You know, they had meetings. They spoke about this, that please, we're going to do something about it, or we actually got our permit from your physical planning ministry, you know, to go ahead with this construction. Why don't you just investigate? And in a very good climb, what you need to do will be, okay, because of the way it is, you've gotten your permit and you pay taxes and all of that. What you can do is, let's do some form of variation whereby you regularize, you know, your permit. Okay? Now, you didn't do that. You gave him another notice, and the man saw the threat by one Mr. Toye Arulogun, who incidentally is someone I know personally and someone I had related with when he was doing his show at MITV. Then I was working with MITV, you know, back in the day. I had a relationship with him. He was a journalist. He was a media person just like myself. Now you are a commissioner, and then you want, you know, a house, a building belonging to a man who worked very hard. He didn't steal government money. He was never a commissioner. He was never a local government chairman. This man is a musician, a talented person, relied on his talent, made money from his talent, God-given talent. He converted it and he made money from it, and is using the money for the benefit of Nigerian people, providing job opportunities for millions of people that you people in government refused to provide jobs for. It's provided jobs for them, and then all you had to do was to plan to demolish his structure. Why would you do that? It keeps mentioning your name, Mr. Toye Arulogun, and that's why I'm mentioning your name. You know I know you, and of course you also know me. But there's no, this one has got no interpersonal issue. It's got to do with what is the truth. Why would you want to clamp down on the media? Because it's been alleged that the Yinka Ayefele's radio station is not in support of your state government. I mean, why should everybody support you? I don't have to support you. If I think that what you're doing is not right, I have a duty to the people of Nigerians. I have a duty to the Oyo State listener as a member of the Fresh FM team. So I guess that is the spirit. That's the reason why they will go on the radio station and talk about what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. So when they talk about what you're not doing right, all you need to do is to visit them, explain to them what you're doing, or send them press statements telling them, or correct it via some other media organizations. Not for you to now visit them with vendetta. This is wrong, and it shouldn't stand. And that is why Nigeria currently is being ranked, I mean, in some circle, that the media, the press, is suffering a lot under the current administration. And we will not allow this to happen, because the freedom of the press should be guaranteed. In fact, it is guaranteed. It is guaranteed. And the press is we represent the people. We represent the people of Nigeria, and will continue to speak truth to power. Now, I'm going to play another video on this program. Listen to this, what the governor, your governor, had to say, Abiola Ajimobi, when he visited Fresh FM sometime ago. Shortly, after he won the second time. Listen to it.
Ìgbà tá a dìbò àkọ́kọ́ dìbò tá a wọlé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló wá bá mi pé ilé ibi tẹ́ ẹ wà pé kí n wò pé torí brọ́dà mi Ayefele kò ṣe tiwa pé ó dẹ̀ máa ń kọrin bú wa a máa ní ẹ má fàdàbà wé tòló
ó wí ọ̀rọ̀ lásán ni.
bílẹ̀ ayé ṣe rí nìyẹn ń kálukú ó máa gbọ́ yóò máa túmọ̀ ẹ̀ náà bó ṣe yé mọ́ ni wọ́n ní tí ò bá síjà ìjà lóde lórí máa ń fi ń dòwe torí pé àwọn èèyàn ti nígbàgbọ́ pé kò ṣe tiwa yẹn wọ́n wá ní ká wá wo bíbọ mo wá wò pé kí la fẹ́ wo fún tí ò bá ṣe tiwa náà ẹni tí ò ṣe tiwa lánàá ó lè ṣe lé nínà mo wá dúpẹ́ pé mi ò wo oúnjẹ náà lọ́hùn ọlọ́run wa ní ká wá bí ṣe bá Ayefele náà ló wá jókòó lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mi tó ti ń fi àdàbà wé tòlótòló báyìí.
Now, does that make any meaning to you? This man went to Fresh FM. He said what he just said on this program right now, and you heard him. Look, and a few years after, the same structure that he said, oh, thank God he did not demolish it at that time, the same structure has been demolished. And then we've seen a lot of conspiracy theories. We've heard a lot that there are issues, that Ayefele is not too inclined towards APC government, that is inclined towards PDP. What's that got to do with the fact that this man is a citizen and is doing the right thing, is paying taxes, is employing people, and of course is contributing to the economy of your state? Now, what the state government of Oyo does not realize is that election is just 6 months away. The presidential election will hold in February 2019, and governorship will hold on March 2nd or thereabout, 2019. We're looking at 6 months. What you have done is to have taken away a very large chunk of goodwill of your party, because that center has become like a mecca since this whole drama started, and political interests have started playing out on this issue. Now, Mr. Ajimobi should have exercised some discretion. He should have thought about the fact that law is made for man and not the other way around. If I were you, I would have actually adopted a different approach in tackling this issue. There is no need visiting citizens with executive rascality. There is no need visiting citizens of a country with firepower, even when they're criticizing you. We all know that CNN is not on the same page with the President of America as we speak. In fact, hardly will you hear any positive story about Mr. Donald Trump on CNN as we speak. Most of the stories, most of the reports of Donald Trump on CNN are very critical. They're very critical of him, and that is journalism at its best. Mr. Donald Trump, the best he can do is to call CNN fake news, because they're not doing what he wants them to do. Okay? He cannot go to CNN head office or other offices to go and demolish their structure. Why would he do that? It is not civil. It is not civilized. Okay, you can argue that CNN itself will not do an extension of their property wherever they are and all of that. But the most important thing for me is that some people, give approval to Mr. Yinka Ayefele. So rather than come to Ayefele and start visiting with him some executive firepower, why don't you relate with the people that gave him that approval for constructing the building? So there are so many sides to it. I want to hear from you people out there. What do you think about this issue? For me personally, as a media person, I think that Mr. Ajimobi is trying to muscle the media. You do not want free press, and that is not true. I mean, that is not going to happen because we will continue to talk. We will tell you the truth. We will tell you the truth. It's left for you to accept the truth or not accept it. But you cannot stop the press from speaking the truth. And the truth is what I have spoken here, that your act, the act of your state government on Mr. Ayefele's music house is unjust, totally uncalled for, and it marks of executive rascality, executive recklessness. And you should not have allowed this to happen. We are in a democracy, and this is a civil society. We're not in a banana republic. We are not in a jungle. And to think that the matter is already in court, you should have waited till today, Monday, when the hearing on restraining orders would have been held. But you have gone ahead on Sunday to demolish the structure. This is not right. So I want to hear from my good people. Let's talk. What do you think about the action of Dr. Abiola Ajimobi of Oyo State, and in fact the Oyo State government, and against the person and the company belonging to Mr. Yinka Ayefele? This is the verdict on AN24. We continue to talk to you, we continue to speak the truth, and we'll continue to be on the side of Nigerians. So what's the verdict on this issue? Now, this is the verdict, and until I see you again, don't forget to do something. Like I always say, you have to hit your button for subscription. Please do subscribe to this channel. Let's keep growing. You need to encourage us so that we can continue to do the right thing on the verdict. In fact, the entirety of AN24, that is African News 24. We also have our website, www.an24.net. Please feel free to visit, where you get the latest news in and around Nigeria and in some other parts of the world.